Party has convened a national working committee in the wake of the president's announcement yesterday. For more on this, we cross to our reporter Samkele Maseko. Thanks very much for joining us, Samkele. What's the latest where you are?
Samkele, I used to share a desk with him at college.
Yes, indeed. The ANC has called a meeting of an extended special National Executive Committee, NWC, rather, National Working Committee meeting to discuss the decisions communicated by the President of the Republic last night on this 30-day state of disaster of the country to deliberate in these matters. Some of these issues do impact the life and body politic of the governing party, as some provinces and some regions are preparing for their regional general councils and regional conferences. Mpumalanga is preparing for their provincial conference. I'm going to bring in ANC spokesperson Samkele Maseko to speak about the necessity of this meeting that they are having here today. Mr. Mabe, what is the critical importance of this meeting that you're having here this morning?
Good day, Samkele. You'll accept that part of the measures pronounced by the President of the Republic, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who's also the President of the African National Congress, have got a bearing on mass-based political formations like the African National Congress. It is only fair that we meet in this way as in an extended form of the National Working Committee to be able to reflect and then say what are the kind of measures that are ANC linked which we ought to be rolling out, because some of the things that the President spoke to have to do with gatherings. They've got to do with the number of people that are expected to gather at a given time and for a certain period of time. So we ought to be seen both in action and in deeds, supporting those kind of interventions, but be able to give directives to our structures on the ground so that they know what is expected of them, given a number of activities that they ought to be taking place in their own space.
What are some of the deliberations that will be taking part in this extended National Working Committee meeting? Well,
this extended National Working Committee meeting was initially going to be convened as a special NEC. But upon the pronouncement by the President of the Republic on restrictions of meetings beyond 100 people gathering at a time, we then, the SGO then converted that into an extended NWC so that we could be able to align with those. But there is only one issue on the agenda, is to deal with the outbreak and then say what are the kind of steps that we ought to be taking to mitigate against the spread of the virus. But also go onto the ground, as the SG said yesterday, educate our people on the kind of roles and responsibilities that they are expected to take. Use our structures on the ground as important platforms to disseminate information to our communities. You would accept that we are the only organization in this country that exists in all the 53 regions, what you call districts.
Mr. Mabe, what then happens to those provinces like Mpumalanga, regions like eThekwini region and KZN, Moses Mapita, Greater KwaDukuza, now General Kizenga Mpanza, and some in Polokwane such as Peter Mokaba region, which were meant to go to the regional conferences, and Vembe? What then happens to those regional conferences?
For the sake of your viewers, I think you wanted to say Mopani. Peter Mokaba is not due for a conference.
Yes, Peter Mokaba.
No, Mopani, just to help your viewers, so that we don't get people writing letters saying they had Samkele saying there's a conference. You will appreciate that the African National Congress is part of the country. We do not exist outside South Africa. We are a political formation, a ruling party that has constituted and formed government on behalf of the people of South Africa. The government that we have formed has since pronounced itself on the measures that need to be undertaken to deal with the outbreak of COVID-19. We are meeting in this way so that as the ANC we could be able to then say, how do we interpret these precautionary measures and what are the kind of things that we think should be done to reinforce the work of government? When we emerge out of this meeting, we'll be able to communicate to our structures. But we can tell you that the commitment of the ANC is a shared view of the rest of the globe to make sure that it's all hands on deck. We all work together to find and facilitate a long-lasting solution in dealing with the pandemic.
When it comes to the current meeting currently taking place, is the President of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, and the Deputy President currently briefing the top six of some of the measures that were decided and decisions that were decided in the urgent cabinet meeting yesterday? Is there a briefing between those who are deployed in government and the top six currently?
Well, Samkele, seeing that the SABC has got wider reach, let me confirm why we called you here today. We called you here today because we've got an extended NWC. We are going to brief you like the rest of media houses when we conclude with the NWC. There is not going to be a special briefing before the NWC takes place. So we have invited you because there are no secret discussions taking place in the ANC. The people of South Africa need to know from the organization that has put on itself the mantle of leading society, the measures that ought to be undertaken as well, from an organizational point of view, to make sure that we reinforce the work of government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pulemabe. That was Pulemabe, the spokesperson of the ANC, saying that there will be a briefing after the extended special National Working Committee meeting, not confirming whether the president is currently briefing the rest of the ANC top six of some of the decisions that were taken by his executive and government that he currently leads as the president of the republic. We did speak and heard that the ANC was informally briefed of the decisions taken by the executive and that a full brief would be given to the top six by the president starting as of their meeting when it started about 10 a.m. this morning.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Samkele Maseko. Germany has